Tonight on News 5 Live, Excitement turns to fear as Belizean football players are attacked in Haiti. Premium gas shoots up to almost $12 a gallon. And the world's best little zoo loses its most loved founder. These stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
Started getting ready for Easter yet? If not, to get the cash you need to hit the road, take a sip, and kick your feet up for your Easter adventures, apply online at quickstoponline.com or head on over to your nearest Quickstop branch for the cash you need. As a first-time customer, enjoy your holidays with no payments until April. Offer ends March 31st. So let's get you Easter ready with a no-hassle loan from Quickstop Personal Finance Center.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Una Fuels, powered with Dynamax. Una, a brand committed with the future.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, a safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace. It reduces the risk of infecting workers and visitors. An unhealthy workplace makes problems that are common to a pandemic even worse, such as increased workloads, longer working hours, isolation, domestic violence, stress, anxiety, and depression. On the other hand, a healthy workplace protects people, allows businesses to continue operations, and keeps communities healthy. You can do your part by following these steps. Wear a mask that covers your mouth and nose. Stay at least 6 feet away from others. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Look out for and follow all safety instruction signs. Stay at home and away from others if you feel ill. Speak up if you do not feel safe.
It takes all of us to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
For more information, visit www.covid19.bz. A message from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in collaboration with the International Labor Organization.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live from Monday, March 22nd. I am Marlene Cuellar. On Friday, the Football Federation of Belize introduced the men's national team, which will be participating in a series of regional matches ahead of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar in 2022. The team arrived in Port-au-Prince, Haiti this morning, where they are scheduled to play at the Sylvia Couture Stadium on Thursday afternoon. Instead of receiving a warm welcome from residents, however, the team was met with jeers and snickering. To make matters worse, before they could even get to their hotel, the bus in which they were traveling was intercepted by armed bikers who descended on a police escort that was assigned to the team. Guns were drawn and pointed towards the bus. Needless to say, the experience has traumatized the players, and the fate of Thursday's inaugural match now hangs in the balance. News 5's Isani Caetano reports.
A harrowing ordeal involving the Belize Jaguars, who arrived in Port-au-Prince earlier today, threatens a soccer match scheduled for Thursday with Haiti's national football team. The first round of World Cup qualifiers has been marred by an incident during which armed men approached a tour bus that was escorted by a small detail of law enforcement officers. On board was Belize's national selection, including Ian Yellow Gainier.
Suddenly we are about to make a turn to go up a hill. The next thing you know, before that we had four police escort, 2 at the back and 2 at the front. You know, suddenly we saw so many motorcycles with, you know, a lot of men with, you know, and they were armed. You know, they stopped the bus, and all we see was they was talking to the police them. After that, we want to know what's happening. Next thing, they want us to turn back. You know, they were pointing the gun at the police, so we don't know what to do. And then some of us was doing some video, and they point on the bus and said, you know, cut out the video. So we had to cut out the video, pull the curtain. Man, all of us was really traumatized. We didn't know what would happen. Next thing we thought they would even want to come on the bus.
23 players, as well as their coaching staff, had just cleared customs and immigration and were en route to their hotel when they were accosted. Haiti has been in the throes of violent protests, particularly in the capital city, where 2 police officers were killed today.
We've reported our discontent to both CONCACAF and FIFA, and we've told them by no uncertain terms that we want to get our players out of the country. But however, the match commissioner is arriving tomorrow to assess the situation and decide what happens from there.
According to Gainier and FFB executive Marlon Quillen, the players have been demoralized in the wake of the frightening experience.
Everybody is kind of down. Like, I mean, we even think about play this game that much right now. I mean, we don't say worry about for we safety first. We know that we will be good, you know. And if we know that we good, then maybe. But I mean, if not, we almost want to play the game on a neutral ground. There is something like that, man. But man, I don't know. Nobody even want to left this hotel to go train right now, you know.
The players they're frazzled. They cannot focus on playing. We were supposed to go training. We have training times, and they don't want to leave the hotel. Our safety is not guaranteed. And what if we win? If we win and the crowd gets out of control again, who's to say that we will be safe? So we've made all this known to FIFA, and hopefully they make a decision quite soon.
The experience, nonetheless, has been an eye-opener for the team.
All of us was like just amazed and like really shocked and surprised about how the people are living in this country, you know. I mean, we've never seen this before, never, ever. You know, we only heard about this. I mean, or maybe see it on TV or something like that, but it was a living reality we saw today, man, for real. This is, I mean, this country really poor, man, and the people here, for real, it really let me appreciate our own country. For real, this is a bad but still a great experience so far, you know. And you know, all we just take out for we camera because everything will just happen around we while the bus take out. You know, so we do a lot of video shoot and, you know, take pictures of, you know, everything we see, you know, a lot of sightseeing, you know, image and just see how people, everybody on the side, how everybody they try to sell something. We have more sellers than buyers here. Everybody, literally, everybody try to sell something.
The fate of the match will be decided upon the arrival of the match commissioner on Tuesday. Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
As you know, quarantine regulations currently in place since March 3rd restrict the opening of bars, nightclubs, and casinos. There's also a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the entire country. That statutory instrument expires in the middle of the Easter weekend on Saturday, April 3rd. So we asked Minister Musa if the restrictions will be extended or eased. He says any adjustment to the quarantine regulations will occur after the Easter holidays and only if COVID numbers continue on a downward trend.
As we go into Easter, I want to encourage all Belizeans. There is nothing wrong with seeing your country, visiting the beautiful places we have in this country, but we must do so in a very responsible manner. And so we have to resist temptations. So if you're invited over by a friend to come over to a house and you know they're having a party, I'm not telling you to snitch and call 100 parties, you know. I'm just saying resist the temptations, stay within your pod with your family, and you can have an enjoyable Easter.
So the SI is going to be extended?
What we're looking at doing is the fact that over the Easter, it could get out of control, and so I don't want to give any false hope that we will be adjusting the curfew at that point. But certainly, if by mid-April we see the continued progress, again, attributable to the Belizean people being responsible, we can, by mid-April, see an adjustment in that curfew.
The rumors about a pending 3-weekend lockdown are false. News 5 confirmed today with Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa that a document getting considerable social media buzz is not about Belize. Minister Musa stressed the lockdown is for another Caribbean country that is seeing a spike in COVID-19 cases.
In relation to the document that is currently being circulated, the information that I have gathered is that it's not that it's a fake document, it's a document that relates to Jamaica, I believe, a whole other country. What we have to realize right now in Belize is that we are leading, we are winning the war on COVID. And so all of these other countries in the world, like Jamaica, like countries in Europe, are actually fully locking down, and some of them imposing these very low curfews.
Tonight, News 5 is saddened to report on the passing of a trailblazer and icon who we have reported on since the inception of our news station. Over the almost 3 decades, we have shown you how Sharon Matola has advocated for the conservation and protection of Belize's wildlife. Matola, the founding director of the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center, passed away on Sunday afternoon. Later in our newscast, we'll bring you a full story, a summary of her countless contributions to Belize, with her colleagues and friends reflecting on the pioneer that she was. But before that, we hear from her family at the Belize Zoo. Celso Poot, the operations and finance manager, has worked alongside Matola for more than 20 years.
The Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center was basically Sharon's life. She visited Belize in 1982 and in 1983 started the Belize Zoo. Later on in 1987, they added the Tropical Education Center. Sharon dedicated her life to the protection and conservation of Belize's wildlife and their habitat through the educational ambassador animals at the Belize Zoo. Back in the 90s, Sharon was the lead expert for the Central American tapir in the world. And after the battle with the Chaleo Dam, she basically put tapir research and scarlet macaw research aside. And I was able to pick up tapir research after that and continue the work that she started with tapirs in Belize. So she molded a lot of what I'm doing now.
After the break, a man is shot while in police custody, but now an officer is under investigation. The shooting at Raccoon Street Station coming up when we return.
El contagio de la COVID-19 requiere que los negocios de todos los tamaños y sectores den máxima prioridad a la seguridad y salud en el trabajo. Los gerentes y empleados deben realizar evaluaciones de riesgos para identificar áreas y procedimientos que ponen en peligro las vidas y los negocios. 6 pasos para crear un lugar de trabajo seguro y saludable. 1. Identificar posibles fuentes de transmisión de virus. 2. Determinar quién podría estar infectado y cómo podría infectarse. 3. Discutir y decidir las medidas de prevención y control. 4. Implementar, comunicar y testear medidas. 5. Asegurar que el equipamiento de protección es adecuado para cada situación. 6. Mantener registros, revisar medidas y actualizarlas cuando sea necesario.
We must all do our part to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
Para obtener más información, visite www.covid19.bz. Un mensaje de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Belice y el Congreso Nacional de Sindicatos de Belice, en colaboración con la Organización Internacional del Trabajo.
It's been a year of lockdowns, losses, and separation from loved ones. As life slowly begins to return to normal, Channel 5 invites you and your family to join us on TV, Facebook, or YouTube for a News 5 special report from panic to pandemic, COVID-19 a year later. We look back at the people, the events, and the struggle Belizeans will never forget. Thursday, March 25th at 8 p.m. right here on Channel 5.
Are you tired of poor customer service or products that don't live up to your expectations? Flex Electronics, centrally located in Spanish Lookout and Belmopan, is Belize's #1 source for mobile electronics since 2009. We carry the largest selection of mobile phones, parts, and accessories with prices you won't find anywhere else. We stand behind the products that we sell and offer a 60-day guarantee on all electronics. We are dedicated to offering the best customer service possible. Not from the area? No problem. We offer fast delivery service countrywide on most orders. Our online staff is ready to chat on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Flex Electronics. Visit or chat online with us today and find out how we can best serve you.
I need data to finish my homework, man. Where can I buy credit around here?
Shucks, I need a call for help.
When you're lost, when you're scared, when you're broke beyond repair, you can lean on me. You can lean on me.
Yes, Digi Credit Me.
Need credit but short on cash? Or can't make it to the store? Digi's got you covered with the new Credit Me service. Get credit now, pay later. Just send Get Credit to 456. No need to fret, just use Digi's Credit Me.
Shine
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
Last week's gun violence ended on Saturday night when a resident of Rivero Street in Southside Belize City was gunned down inside his yard. Clifford Anthony Lorenzo was walking inside his yard when someone approached him and fired several gunshots in his direction. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
8 o'clock on Saturday night, residents say they heard up to 5 shots in the area of Rivero Street in Southside Belize City. When the echo of the blast subsided, 26-year-old Clifford Lorenzo lay dead inside his yard.
Police responded to a shooting incident at Rivero Street, Belize City. Upon their arrival, information was received that one Clifford Lorenzo, 26 years, had received gunshot injuries and was lying motionless inside the yard. Investigation revealed that Lorenzo was inside the yard when a male person entered and fired several shots at him, causing the fatal injuries.
3 persons have since been detained in connection with this latest homicide. But what could have led to the calculated attack on Lorenzo?
We are following up on several leads. It is ongoing rivalry between groups in Belize City.
Any camera around to help the police?
Not at this time, no.
Is his death related or connected to any of the previous killings we had earlier in the week?
Again, the investigation is ongoing at this time. 3 persons are detained, and that is one of the motives we are looking at, whether it is related to the other murders that had occurred.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
A criminal and an internal investigation are being conducted on a police-involved shooting that occurred outside the Raccoon Street Police Station on Saturday. Reports are that the victim, Ryan Foster, had been detained but fled. An officer pulled out his service-issued weapon and fired a single shot, catching Foster to the neck. It was all captured on surveillance cameras in the area. Senior Superintendent Alberto Romero explains why the officer now finds himself in police custody pending charges.
An investigation is being carried out. The police officer is detained pending charges.
Sir, how did he attempt to escape? Wasn't he handcuffed, anything like that?
Oh, he was not handcuffed. He went to wash his hands and he took that opportunity to try and escape.
Is there a reason why that officer is detained pending charges?
Yes, because he gave us a version of the events and we saw contrary to that after the investigation.
Sir, it sounds a little muddled there. We are saying he gave a version of events. The police, I guess, found out another version as to what happened. Can you provide us some clarity there, sir? Is the officer withholding certain information?
Well, he gave his version, and then the investigation showed other things that were not adding up, and that is the reason he's detained.
Was he negligent in his duties?
Again, the end of the investigation is showing that the use of force was excessive.
Last week, Wednesday, Dennis Trapp was shot and killed just after 4 a.m. in Punta Gorda. At the time, police said that Trapp's murder may have been connected to gang warfare in that southern municipality. Today, ACP Joseph Maivet says that while they haven't arrested and charged anyone for this killing, they are actively pursuing persons of interest.
The officers are still investigating, and we are following several leads, and we are looking for a known suspect who is known to the police in relation to this investigation.
Is there any surveillance footage from the area for officers to use? We know the family has, they made a claim that the cameras were perhaps turned away from the direction that they would normally point?
Not that we know of, but officers are on the ground conducting their investigation, and the entire area has been canvassed to see whether or not there are any other surveillance cameras that can assist the police in the investigation.
Sir, did Mr. Trapp ever make any report to the police that he was threatened before or any attempt on his life?
Yes, he did, and the police has a statement to that effect in which he requested no court action. I think it was a little over a month ago, whilst at the dump site, he was fired upon by unknown persons whilst at his work site in the dump site area.
Do police officers believe these same persons may have come back after him? It's the same issue?
Could have been. That is a part of the investigation.
Sir, now the commissioner mentioned last week that you're looking also at the angle of gangs, some feuding issue happening down there in Punta Gorda. Where does Mr. Trapp fit into this? Was he a member of a gang?
I'm not going to as far as to say that, other than to say that he is known to the police.
There was a brazen robbery in San Ignacio on Sunday morning. Police say that 5 armed masked men held up a woman in her yard and proceeded to rob her. At this time, cops believe that some of those involved may be from across the western border. Here's more from ACP Maivet.
San Ignacio police were called to the home of one Lillian Abeles in the Charville area of San Ignacio town, where she reported to the police that sometime around 8:30 a.m. while she was at home, she had exited her home to retrieve something from her vehicle which was parked in the yard when she was approached by 5 armed male persons, 1 of dark complexion and 4 Hispanics, all wearing long sleeve shirts and masks. And they entered her home where it was ransacked, and she was also bounded during the process, and a number of items were stolen. And thereafter, those persons then took her gray Amarok vehicle and made good their escape in that vehicle. Surveillance footage have shown that that vehicle left through the Santa Rosa Road towards the Guatemalan border sometime around 9 a.m. yesterday morning. We are in communication with our Guatemalan counterparts in relation to this investigation.
So you believe the perpetrators are Guatemalans?
Yes, we do believe some of them are Guatemalans.
When we come back, rising through the ranks, meet the Belizean women breaking barriers and pushing through the glass ceiling in law enforcement when we return.
Electricity. We use it to power our appliances, charge our devices, and light our home. Let's all practice energy conservation at home and in the workplace. That's unplug chargers when not in use, lights off when not in the room, turn off fans and TVs. You can also look for Energy Star products and change lights to LEDs, which reduce energy cost. Let's all save energy.
Preventing the spread of COVID-19 at work requires that businesses of all sizes and sectors put safety and health first. Managers and employees should conduct risk assessments to identify critical areas and procedures that put lives and businesses in danger. Here are 6 tips for creating a safe and healthy working environment. 1. Identify potential sources of virus transmission. 2. Determine who might be infected and how. 3. Discuss and decide prevention and control measures. 4. Make sure the safety equipment being used is right for the situation. 5. Implement, communicate, and test measures. 6. Keep records, review measures, and update when necessary.
We must all do our part to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
For more information, visit www.covid19.bz. A message from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in collaboration with the International Labour Organization.
Electricity is an essential part of our daily lives. We use lights and household appliances every day. Therefore, we must ensure our homes are wired properly. At Benny's, we have certified wires with the right gauges and insulation, BEL certified meter sockets, authentic GE and square D panel boxes and breakers, which protect the wires inside your home from being overloaded. When wiring your home, avoid imitation brands which can be very dangerous. Give yourself and your family peace of mind using genuine electrical products available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Un lugar de trabajo seguro y saludable protege a usted y a los suyos en su hogar. Todos debemos implicarnos y cumplir con las medidas para prevenir el contagio del virus. En el lugar de trabajo, practique siempre hábitos seguros y saludables y mantenga los lugares de trabajo limpios y desinfectados. Adapte las condiciones y métodos de trabajo para reducir el riesgo de contagio. Utilice correctamente y en todo momento el equipo de protección personal. Si no se siente seguro, dígalo. Su seguridad y salud es la prioridad. Los trabajadores de primera línea están expuestos a un mayor riesgo y necesitan una atención especial. Coopere y apóyelos.
It takes all of us to stop the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
Para obtener más información, visite www.covid19.bz. Un mensaje de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Belice y el Congreso Nacional de Sindicatos de Belice, en colaboración con la Organización Internacional del Trabajo.
Hello, Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
It's Women's Month, and for the past few weeks, News 5 has been highlighting women who have excelled in areas traditionally perceived as male-dominated jobs. Today, we focus on the inclusion of women in law enforcement and their rise to leadership roles. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
What will law enforcement in Belize look like in 2031? The Ministry of Home Affairs has embarked on an initiative to ensure that the voices of women within the National Forensic Science Services, the Belize Police Department, and the prison facilities are heard in decision-making and policy formulation.
I think it's important for me as a minister on this occasion not just to come and give a fancy speech, but rather to engage the women in the departments in a very meaningful way. Not just to be a fly on the wall, but to listen to their concerns, to highlight their successes, and of course to confront the challenges that they face in a no doubt male-dominated profession. And we have seen over the years where the glass ceiling has been shattered.
It's an excellent point that she made.
That process began with a session led by Chamberlain Consulting that examined what women should do to prepare themselves for a service career while promoting healthy gender relations in the workplace and fostering professional growth and development.
They created a strategic focus and an action step for this government to take. I want them to take away belief that it will be done. And I take away that I see the CEO and the minister committing, but they have to. Because Belize right now on a gender, culturally we're not raised. Women are in the kitchen, men are, no matter how we try to put it. And even when you become a woman in a workforce, you still have to run home and cook, so we have double duty. I want us to gain our natural place among men, doing better than men can, but by doing it respectfully, because we're not trying to lift women and lower men. We are trying to create something where we can work synergistically.
At the National Forensic Science Services, 2 women serve as deputies in the unit, while there are scores of career women at the Kobe Foundation. Presently, women make up 37% of the police department, and that number continues to grow. Deputy Commissioner of Police Desiree Magdaleno speaks to the accomplishments in changing the norm.
It's a very long and challenging journey, I must say. The whole idea of women being a part of the police department is somewhat that people would see scary. When I joined in 1985, only 2 of us joined. Now there's a different tide that's flowing, as you see over 50 women at times in a squad that's graduating. That speaks volume to the idea of where we were, where we are, and certainly where we're going. You have to be very committed, dedicated, you have to be very disciplined, you have to be honest. Your integrity has got to be impeccable if you want to rise and remain rising. And most importantly for me, is stay the course, no matter what, because it's challenging, it's very stressful.
Willing to take on the challenges, Police Constable 1903, Jennifer Linares, who is attached to the anti-narcotic unit of the department. Inspired by the legacy of senior female police officers, she wants to excel in her career.
I was thinking about it because of a lot of things that I was hearing, that females are being harassed and females are not good for this job. But then I challenged myself. I decided to challenge myself, and I said I will take this opportunity and I will make a difference. I want to make a difference for my country. I love my country and I want to work for my country. And I love to help people as well. And I see this job as a career, not only as a job.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Coming up, you aren't going to like it, but gas prices are going up again. Find out which drivers are going to feel the pinch beginning Tuesday when News 5 returns.
As a new mom, there are moments of pride, joy, and doubt. Yes, doubt. Has he slept enough? Does she have everything that she needs? Will she be okay in the sun? These doubts come from love. For the good of baby, 2 servings of Nestum are full of all the goodness and naturalness of the cereals that your baby needs to blossom. That's one less thing to worry about. Nestum, it's all good, Mom.
Learn more online with Nestle Baby and Me.
Buying a car should be a great experience, and St. John's Credit Union wants to make it even better. But we offer more than just great low rates. We make the application process easy and make sure our members get the best service possible. At St. John's Credit Union, we offer excellent products backed by exceptional service. So the next time you are buying a new or used vehicle, take advantage of St. John's Credit Union's Drive Forward Auto Loan product. We'll put the buying power in your hands. Come and drive forward with our auto loans with rates as low as 9% and low or no down payments. Drive forward with St. John's Credit Union. Some restrictions apply.
Durante la pandemia de la COVID-19, un lugar de trabajo seguro y saludable es un lugar de trabajo mejor. Esto reduce el riesgo de transmisión del virus entre trabajadoras, trabajadores y clientes. Los lugares de trabajo inseguros agravan los problemas durante la pandemia. Aumento de la carga de trabajo, jornadas laborales más largas, aislamiento, violencia doméstica, estrés, ansiedad y depresión. Trabajar de manera segura protege a las personas, permite seguir operando y mantiene a las comunidades saludables. Usted puede hacer la diferencia siguiendo los siguientes pasos: usando máscaras para cubrir boca y nariz, respetando el distanciamiento físico de 6 pies, lavándose las manos con jabón durante al menos 20 segundos, siguiendo instrucciones y señalización de seguridad y salud, quedándose en casa si está enfermo, diciéndolo si no se siente seguro.
It takes all of us to slow the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
Para obtener más información, visite www.covid19.bz. Un mensaje de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Belice y el Congreso Nacional de Sindicatos de Belice en colaboración con la Organización Internacional del Trabajo.
Currently, we're using Smart Elite Vibe Calling Plan. We use it interbranch, we use it to call outside, and we also use it to call international. It's far cheaper than what we used to have before. Our equipment, our new PBX box is new. So the PBX is very good because I can call to my Sartaneja branch, I can call to my Kikaka branch, I can call to San Pedro branch, and there's no cost using the PBS. Actually right now, since we're in different locations, I can call main office from where I am at a no cost using the PBX system. I would recommend it, sure I would, especially the big enterprises who has a lot of employees. There's a lot of reduction in costs, 50% of saving. But that on a year, it's a lot of money that we're saving. Money that we could return to our members, since we give back dividend to our members.
Visit our showroom or call 670-6710 to find out how Smart's corporate plan and PBX systems can benefit your business. Consultation is free.
In the seemingly unrelenting gas price increases, Belizean consumers are being told once more by the Ministry of Finance that prices are going up. Today they announced premium gasoline is having its biggest jump yet, $1.24 per gallon. The new price, effective Tuesday, March 23rd, will now be almost $12 a gallon at $11.64. The spike follows steady increases over the past few days, including a rise in diesel by a whopping 86 cents already this month. Like so many other organizations, the Inter-American Development Bank took its annual general meeting online this year. The Belize delegation to the 3-day virtual event, which ended on Sunday, was led by Prime Minister John Briceño. During the Prime Minister's presentation, he underscored the importance of the IDB group's support for small countries in the region and the need for resources for climate change and natural disaster reduction strategies. The governors for Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua agreed on a unified position that the Central American constituency would advance during the formal sessions of the annual meeting of the Board of Governors. Other members of Belize's delegation were Minister of State Christopher Coy, CEO Narda Garcia, and Elvira Mendez, counselor in the Office of the Executive Director of the IDB. A month ago, the Belize Police Department began an investigation into former UDP Minister Rene Montero and his CEO Errol Gentle after the Ministry of Infrastructure and Housing filed an official report alleging that Montero used the ministry's resources for private gain. Well, the police have completed that investigation and have handed over the file to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Today, ACP Joseph Maivet gave the press an update on the status of that investigation.
A team of officers have been assigned to do that investigation. A number of evidence were gathered in terms of that investigation, and those were compiled and sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, which she reviewed and gave us further directives. So the officers are now complying with those further directives that were given to them, and then those will then also be compiled and forwarded back to her for further direction.
Sir, Mr. Montero, his attorney, anyone connected with him, associates question?
A number of persons whom are associated with him were a part of the interviewing process during the investigation, yes.
When News 5 returns, celebrating the life of the woman who lived for the animals. Don't go away.
A workplace that is healthy and safe protects you and those depending on you at home. Prevent the spread of COVID-19 at work by following these steps. Always practice safe and healthy habits, like keeping your work environment clean and disinfected. Adapt working conditions and methods to reduce the risk of infection. Use personal protective equipment properly at all times. Speak up if you do not feel safe, because your safety and health is the priority. Frontline workers are exposed to a higher risk and need particular attention. Cooperate with and support them.
It takes all of us to stop the spread. A safe and healthy workplace is a better workplace.
For more information, visit www.covid19.bz. A message from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in collaboration with the International Labor Organization.
Why, Tony?
Why, kid, what are you going on, man?
But actually, because see, we can't even buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups from the grocery shop because they run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out of the last batch, must have been like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have that thing? What is going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Lord, patience with them people out here. I want to talk to the one who sit on the street, they hold their mask, they dangle it from their hand like this, or they put their mask on their chin like that, or put it round their neck like so. Or worse, Then one will like to hang it from their neck like that chain. Then when they see the police they come, they hurry put the mask on their face. You don't understand the harm you do to yourself. And not only to you, to other people too. If you want to be infected with the COVID-19 virus, go through. But you have to understand, all that we are affected by your full action. Not just you. People like say they can't take the mask. What do you think better? Deal with the mask fairly well or end up in a hospital? If somebody not live in the same house with you, you have to wear a mask when you're there with them. Even if they're your family or your company, you still need to wear the mask. Everybody you meet could have COVID-19. When you wear the mask the correct way, if you cover your whole nose, your whole mouth and your chin, that's how we will protect all our way.
A message from the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, the European Union, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there.
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's twice as nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
Over the weekend, Belizeans got the sad news of the passing of Belize Zoo founder and animal ambassador extraordinaire, Sharon Matola. Over the years, her name became synonymous with this space for education and conservation. Her passion motivated and inspired an entire generation of environmentalists who remembered going to the zoo as children and wanted to devote their lives, as she had, to protecting Belize's wildlife. While News 5 joins the chorus of those mourning her passing, we do hope viewers will enjoy seeing where it all began.
People who hunt baby monkeys to sell them for pets, they shoot the mother and they steal the baby. And then somebody comes along and buys the baby. So that's not a very good thing to do, is it? No, it's not.
That's Sharon Matola, more than 30 years ago. She's the founding director of the Belize Zoo, a feat she single-handedly accomplished way back in the 80s. She first came to Belize to work on a film project as a caretaker for the animals. And when that was over, the animals had no one to care for them. And so Matola stepped in, and her work blossomed into the best little zoo in the world. And ever since then, she has championed a movement of conservation and preservation of Belize's natural heritage. And she did it right up to her untimely passing. Her best friend, Lou Nicolade, fondly recalls how much that meant to Matola.
I think it was her whole life. Even friends were incidental. Conservation was more important than, the animals, conservation, education. I mean, education and little people, little students, young people were very important to Sharon. She understood very well that you can only ensure a conservation ethic if you have education for youngsters.
And Matola's idea of a zoo was different. She didn't want animals to be unhappy and locked up. All her animals at the zoo are rehabilitated animals that wouldn't be able to survive in the wild if released. She curated the zoo in such a way that the animals are still in their natural habitat. She created many books telling stories of the raptors, tapirs, and other species, building awareness and love for animals in our Belizean children. Matola was always known for throwing the best birthday parties like April the Tapir Bash every year. It was a highlight for students, or when she hosted dignitaries like Princess Anne back in 2001. And while the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center remain her single largest contribution to the country and people of Belize, her impact and her legacy are immeasurable.
Sharon was a trailblazer. She was persistent, she was smart, she had a certain charisma that was so captivating. And obviously, I think her contribution is that she brought animals into the homes and into the classrooms of Belizeans. Sharon brought these stories to life, and she did it by allowing kids to go to the zoo and have an experience like no other. So I think there are generations and generations of children, adults and children alike, whose whole outlook about the animals of Belize was shaped entirely by Sharon.
She is a conservation hero for this nation. I mean, we inherited the best little zoo in the world, and I don't think that there is a bigger legacy than that. The zoo is the place that has welcomed probably all of us as children, given us our first introduction to our wild animals. It is so special and with such a special vision that always stuck to understanding our own natural heritage and what is our biodiversity. And I think that that vision is simply amazing. It was never an ordinary zoo. And so without a doubt, hands down, that legacy will live on.
Sharon's passing really signals the end of an era for Belize. She is perhaps the last of what I would consider those old school conservation warriors. Last, certainly for Belize, perhaps for the region. While she is known mostly for her work with the Belize Zoo, Sharon's work was transformational in much more than just the Belize Zoo. Work really touched on the three main pillars of conservation biology. She worked in research, she worked in education, she worked in conservation, and she really transformed those three fields. She had a tremendous impact across this entire country. I think today Belize is better off because of the work that Sharon did.
Sharon, through her work at the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center, was the loudest voice for the problem jaguars. She rehabilitated more than 20 jaguars over the years and used their stories to spread awareness. In one of her last interviews with Matola, she advocated for these problem jaguars.
We're proud of our program because we know if it's a problem jaguar, it has a problem, and she certainly did. She was missing a canine tooth. She was missing a canine tooth, Andrea, and she was missing bottom teeth. And she had intestinal issues. She's a runt. I mean, look, she looks young, but she's not so young. She's a runt. So her making it in the wild and hunting just was not on her menu. And as you can see, how close can you get to a jaguar like this, who actually has learned to like people?
And while her presence will be missed, her impact will continue to be felt in countless areas of conservation. Matola is credited for the many careers she shaped and persons she inspired who are the torchbearers of conservation work in present-day Belize.
I have known Sharon for almost 25 years. She actually is somebody that first introduced me to the world of conservation. And she did that for many of the conservation professionals in Belize. So I think, today many people are mourning that loss, not just professionally, but personally as well.
I first met Sharon over 25 years ago. And actually, Sharon was the person that hired me for my first job in the field of conservation biology. And ever since then, I have stayed in contact with Sharon. We stayed in contact. We worked on numerous projects, numerous initiatives. So Sharon has had a tremendous impact on my career, on my work in conservation biology.
I don't think there's another person like a Sharon Matola. She's literally one of those persons that come around once in a lifetime. And I was fortunate to have known Sharon since I was about 6 years old. She used to come to the zoo to pick me up, to take me all the way from Bermuda Landing to go and meet the tapir, the tapir at the Belize Zoo. And so in many ways, she contributed to my development and love for wildlife and for conservation.
Dr. Colin Young sums up best the force that was and will live on as Sharon Matola, from championing environmental issues as a staunch opponent of the Chaleo Dam to an advocate for wild animals to naming the highest point in Belize.
Sharon is as Belize as the Belize Zoo. While she wasn't born here, she loved this country. She loved its people. She loved its animals. And she was willing to do all she can to trust them, even when it made her very unpopular. So, and when she crossed a lot of people, whether it was her objection to the Chaleo Dam when it was being built and the issues with trying to save the scarlet macaws and the habitat, or whether it is taking any other environmental issue and fighting for it. I think that fighting spirit is one of the defining characteristics of Sharon. I don't know how many people know that Sharon is actually responsible for naming our highest point in Belize, the Doll's Delight, which is taller than Victoria Peak. And she named it in 1989 based on the Lost World. And so it's fitting that this giant of a woman, this giant of a human being, was responsible for naming our highest point in this country. And I think that ought to symbolize in more ways than one that how towering a figure she was in Belize.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
And that's the news. Viewers are invited to join News 5 on Thursday for a special extended report, and that's March 25th at 8 p.m. From Panic to Pandemic, COVID-19 a year later. We hope you'll tune in for this extended coverage hosted by Sani Caetano that looks back at a year like no other. Tonight's broadcast is available in text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at News 5 Live. I'm Marlene Cuellar. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.